There are two basic ways to reduce your NOx. One is retrofit your existing equipment, or two, replacement. Now let's take a look at two RFMacDonald clients and find out how they came to their decisions and see if they were able to meet the new air quality rules. Our first stop is here at Pomona Valley Hospital in Southern California. Here we retrofitted two boilers. This involved a replacement of two burners, one a gun-style burner, the other an internal or integral burner. Now, even though these boilers contain two different burners, they share similar controls and an almost identical display, all of which can be monitored at their BMS. We spoke with their chief engineer. Here we are at Pomona Valley Hospital in Southern California with Emilio, and he has a story to tell about what they did here.
This boiler that we're in front of did meet the requirements for AQMD. Replacing the boiler wasn't an option for us. The cheapest and easiest way for us was just to replace the burner with the new burner that will meet the new 2012 compliance for less than 9 ppm of emissions.
So 9 ppm. What were your emission levels before that, Emilio?
They were just above 30 ppm, which is not where we wanted to be.
So you've reduced emissions about 2/3 out of this boiler.
Oh, yes, we have.
And I know the Air District in Southern California with their mandate can be pretty aggressive. Have they been around your facility?
Well, that's also part of the story. They are very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but they are on top of their job, and they make sure that we're compliant with our permit to operate.
You mentioned the ease of changing from fuel in an emergency to your backup oil firing. So here is the oil gun, and
essentially you just slide it down and engage the other notch. Throw the switch for oil, and you're off you go.
So did Oshpod get involved in this project at all, at any level?
No, because it was a maintenance item. It was just replace in kind.
With Oshpod, since everything is mounted on the boiler and no other panel structural supports, things of that nature, did that impact the decision that Oshpod made not to be involved?
If there had been additional modifications to the boiler, things, bigger doors or bigger things that needed to be attached to the sides of the boiler or the concrete, then it would have been a seismic issue.
So price had to be a consideration, but what other factors in addition to price did you consider and then make this choice?
Well, like I said, I got 3 bids from different manufacturers. I just wanted to make sure that I had a product that wasn't going to leave me out of compliance with AQMD. A lot of people tell you, yeah, we can meet the 9 ppm, but when I started calling around, I didn't get the answers that I wanted.
You did some calling around. You checked up on us.
Yes, I did. I wasn't about to spend that kind of money and find out that it wasn't going to work.
And does it work?
Oh, it works. It works great. Like I said, we get our monthly testing done, and all the reports come back well below the limit prescribed by AQMD.
But there are times when your boiler has seen the end of its life and it's time to replace it. We'll now travel to Oakland City Center 21 to follow this story of a boiler replacement. So the original Ajax boiler that was installed with the building was 26 years old, and you were faced with either spending a considerable amount of money retrofitting it. Maybe how did that compare with replacement in terms of investment cost?
Well, I think building standard or industry standard is a 20-year lifespan on most equipment. We've already exceeded that by 6 years, but it didn't really make sense to us to invest all this money into this 26-year-old piece of equipment and expect to get another 20 years out of it.
I think that's, an educated evaluation.
We were commended by our ownership on how proactive we were on this and got it through, versus some of our other sites which weren't so proactive, and now they're scrambling to get their boilers in. From what we understand, the AQMD wanted every surface that can be touched or rubbed up against to be below 120 degrees. So we took this part of the flue, which is in a pathway, and we encased it with insulation and then wrapped it with an aluminum liner.
Very good. And it does look like, so then you pointed out these stacks to us, Albert. Looks like you made it through the existing roof openings.
We made it through the existing roof openings.
So as part of the project and their rebate, you had to monitor the gas usage in the boiler.
Yes.
So a new gas meter was installed to monitor just the fuel going to the two boilers.
One or two boilers, correct.
And here we have it. Looks like it's moving pretty slowly. That's a good thing. And then this wire coming up here.
That's for a pulse output, which I can actually hook that up to our Eman Demon meter system, and we can either create billbacks or just run reports on what our usage has been, our peaks and valleys, our demands. You can pull up all kinds of neat stuff with that.
Okay. So here we are 20 floors below the boilers, looking at your desk, your screens. Show us what information you are able to get out of the Camus units.
Basically what it's telling us, it's giving us some feedback here. It's telling us what our hot water supply temperature is, what our hot water return temperature is, whether our hot water pumps are active or inactive. And it tells us what percentage of boiler we're asking for.
So this system obviously wasn't here in 1984 when the original boiler was in.
Right.
What were you able to do with that old boiler before the Camus?
The original system was a glorified time clock, basically. It just turned it on, turned it off, and locally it would monitor certain set points that you put into it.
If something were to go wrong, would there be a fault that might show up and alert you to go upstairs?
We have all our alarms are activated, and if we do go on an alarm above and below certain limits that I program into this system, we get a little alarm light. The system's also capable of emailing us and letting us know through email that something has gone wrong.
Albert, I really appreciate your time here, but as a wrap-up, these rules and regs in the Bay Area to reduce emissions allowed you to improve your monitoring capability of the boilers, reduce your maintenance, reduce your fuel cost, provide redundancy so you have some backup in case of emergency.
Yes. And overall, lower our operating costs. That's our main goal. And lower the NOx, of course. We want to keep the air clean.
Okay, very good. There really is no reason to wait. Contact us about the best solution for your facility.